Hey, how's it going?
How long have you been doing this?
Well, for about 20 years.
Wow, that's cool.
Thanks, man.
Hey, did you really draw this?
Yes, I did.
That's cool.
Thanks.
How did you get that painting to look fluffy?
I referenced my cat.
Makes sense.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Really, how's it going?
Oh, good. Just doing a show, getting back into things and everything.
All right, cool.
I love the booth. It looks great.
Oh, thanks, yeah.
Usually, you go out to conventions and you see all these types of stuff. But what are you doing today?
Today I'm doing the Skywalkers. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, just out of curiosity,
Sure.
you would want to happen to come into our studio at some point and maybe do a Comment After Dark segment?
I think that would be awesome.
All right, well then you got it. Coming at ya. Let's go.
Convention men, women, and subspecies. Have you ever felt so alive? When you're hanging out with your people, when you're hanging out with your tribe, go to a bar, go to the show and comment. This is what we do. Go to a bar, go to the show and comment. Bring the con to you.
Hi, this is Mike Zapsik.
And this is Ming Chen, and you're watching Con Men.
Hey, men, women, and subspecies. It's Tasha here at Comment After Dark. We're here with Ron Leary Jr. and at his booth. We brought it to the studio this time. We're crazy.
Yay!
Yeah, so this is a winter miracle for us. And we're going to talk about some cool things like art.
Cool.
Yes.
Yes, I like art.
Yeah. So you are currently working on different sketches for your fans.
Yes. Yep.
So many fans, because you've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah.
We want to know what art really means to you as a career.
Art to me as a career is kind of like a dream come true, basically. It's something that I always was into as a kid, and I used to admire, book covers, looking at like Frank Frazetta's stuff or checking out like Jim Steranko's work and seeing the design aspects of things. And then you have, one of my favorite things was like the video store. I know it tells you how old I am now, but the video stores. I used to love all the posters, and I watched so many bad movies because of the cover art. So
That's
yeah.
so crazy. And we're in the new dawn of like digital art,
Yeah.
and it's been getting like more popular on social media. And you've been dabbling in it, I've heard.
Yeah, the digital stuff. I've been doing the digital stuff again almost immediately.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I remember Photoshop before it had layers. So yeah, I've been using it for a long, long time, and it was originally just touching up photographs and setting up plates and things like that for printing. So it was just an easier process. And then eventually it became something that artists started manipulating it from what its original intent was and developing it into something greater, where it was being used more as like a painting application. Mm-hmm. And you had other programs that did with vector art, so you do like your logo, so you could get the multiple sizes real easy. And
Is it like this one we have right behind us?
No, this one here actually is kind of it's a mixed media.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it started off, I did the pencils first, then I did a painting, and then I did all digital touch-up in the computer.
Ah, I see.
Yep, so digital does play a big hand, and especially for reproduction work and production work in itself. So when you're like doing animation and stuff like that, a lot of that has gone from doing hand-drawn cells to actually get that one hand-drawn and then be able to cut the pieces and make it work for you. So
That's amazing.
yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and your fans are crazy about how realistic some of your pieces are. Did you go to school for this, or did you do a lot of studying yourself?
I did a lot of studying myself. When I first got into it, there wasn't many, there were books, obviously, people telling you how to paint or how to draw, but they were like complicated to read through and very uninteresting to me because I wanted to see the process.
Yeah, how did you have the faith to carry on?
I didn't want to get beat.
No, okay, so you were just...
I was very competitive.
There you go.
So, and when it came to the art style of things, it was like, if I saw something, if I wanted to draw like a photograph, right? If I would look at it, because colors originally were a nightmare to me. I did not like colors at all. They scared me, right? So black and white. I was looking at black and white photos, you know, like Ansel Adams and stuff, and you look at how all the values on everything. And I was like, well, if I'm drawing with a pencil, I should be able to make that happen, right? Because I'm just dealing in the gray values. So I focused on that and getting the realism from doing the grayscales first. And then somehow colors just snapped in afterwards. I do remember looking at, I was so afraid of them because I couldn't tell where warm colors and cold colors started, you know, in a painting. And then I remember seeing some Greg Hildebrandt pieces, and the way that he used true blues and true bright yellows and warm colors, it was easy to see where things were supposed to go. And after that, it was just like, okay, now it all makes sense. So.
Yeah, I gotta study up on your mentors.
Yeah. Names, I was horrible with names in the very beginning. So it's like when you look at pieces, it's you don't know who did them. Sometimes you start seeing names, and then one of the cool things about conventions, right? Yes, I know I'm probably skipping ahead here.
No, you're good.
But as far as like conventions, I didn't really get to go to many when I was a kid, because nobody really had I didn't think anybody really had an interest. It was kind of funny as I grew up and I started doing shows, seeing some of my friends show up at shows, going like, and I'm like, if you were into it so much, then we could have come together, you know, it would have been great, you know. But getting to actually see the faces behind the artwork, the people that did the artwork, like, because they were like, you'd see their work, you'd see their name, and you'd get to know the name eventually. And then you'd know that you'd follow their work, but you didn't really know what that person looked like at all. It's like, and then when you finally go to a convention and you get to see them behind the table and you get to see them actually drawing, and then you can actually talk to them and ask them questions, it's like, that's so awesome.
Let's go on further with conventions.
Sure.
You were saying that you met some of your favorite artists there, or
Oh, yeah.
what was the most memorable for you? Just a few.
Well, remember how I just talked about Greg Hildebrandt?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was not too long ago either, which was really great. I mean, I got to meet like Jim Steranko, and I got to meet, you know, Arthur Adams and Neil Adams and John Byrne. I got to meet all these guys at one point or another. But the to meet him, because his influence on how to separate the colors and everything really influenced me to make me as good as I am. So, and I'm not trying to like stroke my own goat here, but you know, it's basically, he helped me figure it out. He like gave me the piece of the puzzle that I didn't have. And so when I got to actually meet him and talk to him, and then I was like, I had his Star Wars poster for years, you know, and that was just so cool that he was so awesome to talk to. And so down to earth, and we chatted about art for a while, and then I was like, oh my God, I got to get back to my booth. You know, it was great. It was a great time. So that was probably like the coolest, most recent thing that happened for me.
Who do you go to cons with?
Usually I take my wife. She keeps me, make sure that I do things and not get myself into doing something for people for, you know, people ask and try to take advantage of you a lot. And I'm typically...
She's like your bodyguard.
She is my bodyguard. She is. She's great. and she keeps everything going nice and smooth as far as like the business side of things.
Yeah.
And then my daughter, I've brought in both my daughters. Izzy likes to come, and she loves the cosplayers, you know. And there's actually a lot of conventions that we've gone to. She's chased down characters, you know, just so she could have their photos with them, and then like the big Iron Man, and then there was my daughter Samantha. She had gone to a couple shows with me, and she helped me run the booth, and she is quite the business lady.
Oh my.
Yes, I know.
It's gonna come in the trades.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a little quick break, and we'll stay tuned for more cool stuff.
Conman! Returning to select cinemas nationwide, Studio Ghibli Fest 2018 brings you 9 of your favorite animated classics from one of the world's most beloved animation studios. Tickets and full schedule available at fathomevents.com.
And that little glass globe in there, it seems to, wait a minute, it seems to be growing. It's getting larger. Oh my God, it's alive! It's alive!
What you want? What you want?
Greetings, men, women, and subspecies. This is Morbo, the newscaster, and you are watching Conmen TV. Kittens give Morbo gas.
Welcome back, men, women, and subspecies. It's now time for our game show, where we get to ask Ron random questions and learn more about him. So, Ron, are you ready for the challenge?
I'm not sure.
Don't worry, they're not it's not rocket science, I promise.
Oh, then I should be okay.
Okay. All right. Comics or manga? Manga is Japanese art. Comics, they kind of stem from each other in a sense.
Well, yeah, kind of. Just a little
Less strokes, more detail, in more sense.
bit. Left to right, right to left.
I know, right?
I'll take comics.
All right. Comics it is.
I'm not saying I don't like manga. I'm just saying stick with comics.
All right. Ha. Anime or cartoons?
You know what? I'm gonna say because I love Korra, and the big fans turn around and say Korra is not anime. It's cartoon.
There you go.
So.
All right. PC or console? Could be Xbox, PlayStation.
I'm gonna go with console.
Console? All right.
Yeah,
what have you been playing on?
I am not good with a keyboard.
So what console do you have?
I've got the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One.
And what game are you currently playing?
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Yes. Yes. Me and my daughters will go and we'll play Skyrim. We played all the Batman games, which were so cool, and they are definitely the better Batmobile driver.
Ooh.
Yes, I know, it hurts. It hurts.
All right. DC or Marvel?
Marvel pays me.
Thank you, Marvel.
Yeah.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Oh, this is tough. See, the wife is Star Trek Next Generation. I am Star Wars.
Just like this.
But I like Firefly even more.
All right, this is next. So there's Pocky or P-Joy. I don't know if you ever had them, but they're cookie sticks.
No.
No?
No. But no.
Well, I'll just give you this cake instead.
Oh, yeah,
there you go.
I like cake.
All right, last one.
Okay.
Angry Geeks or Conman?
I'm gonna go with we're Conman. but you're not here.
Thank you for participating.
No problem.
And
Thank
you get this origami treat.
Thanks. Did you make that?
Yes,
Fresh
very
strawberries.
carefully with
Yes.
my paper skills in the bakery.
Cool.
All right, we're gonna ask you some more interesting questions here on this show, and we actually want to dive into more what you have at your booth.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I think that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
So,
go ahead.
what are you actually working on?
These are what I would call at-home commissions. Okay, so they're like pre-show pieces. What you guys saw me demonstrating here would be an in-show piece where somebody would come up and they would ask for a commission. A lot of times, depending on the amount of money that you actually have to spend, okay, because a lot of times it's really expensive to get into a show, right? But you can come up, you can go to a booth by an artist, you can get prints, the cheapest thing that most artists have are what we call headshots. So we can do like quick headshots, and they're like on the lower end of the value scale, and then you can do the more detail that you put into a piece, the more money it obviously costs, because it takes us more time to do it. So there's less commissions that we can actually take at the show for those. So we have to charge more. Okay. And you're usually paying for about 45 minutes worth of time. So it's not bad. I mean, if you turn around and you're like, well, somebody's getting $20 for a headshot, I mean, you're getting 40 minutes, almost an hour. But pre-show pieces, if you want those really high detailed pieces like these.
Oh, the ones before?
Yeah, like these ones here. These would be pre-show pieces. They're more expensive, but they also get a lot more what I call love, because the artist has because the artist can actually spend more time on it at their leisure. So it's like while they're working on it, they just know that it has to get done in time for the show, because usually a pre-show piece is for an in-show pickup, where the fan is going to come to the show and actually get the piece, so they get to meet you in person, get the piece. I know, it's like one of the coolest things.
That's a magical
I know,
moment.
I love those. What's great about those is they also help pay for the artist to actually be there, which is great, because we have to buy our own spaces, you know, because each convention that we go to, we have to buy all our own supplies, bring everything into the show, and it costs us a lot of money. The places that we're going to stay at, everything, right? So these pre-show pieces, what they help do is they actually help cover the table cost, and give us that opportunity to meet everybody and talk with everybody, and that's really, really cool. So as an artist, we really appreciate those moments where we get those pre-show pieces. We usually take about 10. Would be the max that I've seen people take for a show. And it's usually you want to get in your order at least at the beginning of the last week before that show takes place, because it takes them time to actually work on it, right? The closer you get to the show, the less time that they have to work on it, right? And they're going to kind of rush. So you want to get in way before then.
Yeah.
The other thing is too is when you're doing an order like that, it's usually you're paying it up front, you know, because the artist has other commissions that he's got at home where people will order online stuff, but they're not going to be coming to the convention. They're just going to get it in a mail order. And sometimes people that place those orders, they get a little upset only because, I know, I've been reading on the forums all the time, all these little comments, and I think it's very important because they turn around and they say, well, how come this pre-show piece got, you know, a priority on it? Well, because the person's paid for the piece and there's a scheduled pickup. Right? With the other piece, it's at home. There's no scheduled time on it. It's in between working on other jobs, like say I'm working on a comic book at the same time. Right? So the comic book is a paying gig, and it's with a publisher. It's got a deadline that's got to get done. Right? And then the commission piece is in the spare time to work on it. If they wanted to change that to be picked up at a show, you could just call, you know, make an email and say, hey, you know, I'm coming, you know. So it's like, hey, can you get it done? And it's like, oh, straight to the priority list. You know, that's the way to do it, to get a really awesome piece at a decent price. Sometimes people have agents that they work with, like groups. Okay, like there's a few of them. talking to one. So I'm going to be starting to work with one, hopefully.
I didn't know you were a spy. You have agents?
I have
I mean,
agents everywhere.
Come on.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't have the flying car yet, but I'm working on it. I know.
So I know you said you did some stuff for Marvel. Is there anything you're excited about? Mini pieces, big pieces?
Oh, yeah.
Can you expand on that?
I love doing the trading cards.
Ooh,
because I know.
trading cards.
Because like I said, we talked about Greg Hildebrandt a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Okay, but there's also like Joe Jusko, who's another one that I'm a huge fan of, right?
Yes.
And another painter, right? Which also, I've gone from doing like penciling, and I do everything. So I know.
Jeez.
I know.
You're gonna paint on the moon next?
No, not yet.
We're not there yet.
Okay. So I really love the cards, and doing the sketch cards are really cool. I'm working on the Marvel cards with Upper Deck, so I do those. The last couple sets I did, there was like the X-Men series that we got finished. I know, that was great. I was like, I get the call, hey Ron, you want to work on some X-Men? Yeah. It's like, how much? Yeah, bring it. It's like Phoenix. Yeah. So.
That's amazing. And let's talk about one of your pieces here.
Sure.
Since we're at your booth.
All right. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. How about this one right here next to me?
That one was really cool. That one there, I was trying to come up with something a little bit, because you'll see artists come up with like these mix and mash pieces where we mix genres together or something. This one here was kind of fun. I took all the Mischief characters from like Disney and Marvel, and I put them together, because in most of the projects we were told, we're like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that, but I thought it was great because you got the two science experiments actually, stealing the Millennium Falcon, taking it for a joyride. And I thought it was great because you got like all the Mischief, you could just see what's going to happen. It's just going to be a mess. It's so cool.
Goodness.
And then I do have a cat that like the young girl had asked.
Yes.
Right. I have a cat named Thor, right? Which is funny. I know. Who likes to come over and knock over my paintings while I'm working on them. She'll come up right behind them, and then I'll be painting, and then she'll scratch at the back because she hears the scratching. Oh, it's good times.
That's so funny. And speaking of Thor, I think we have a Thor piece right behind me.
Yes, it's the ladies' favorite. Yeah. I've been requested for the next one to be an Aquaman.
What? Aquaman?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness. This one's fun. He's like really doing some stuff.
Yeah, this is great. That was all originally, it's all acrylics. These are the original, that's the original piece. That one's an original piece. This was digital. This was a heavy metal cover that I had done.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, for Heavy Metal Magazine.
Wow.
Yep. This is for an original story that me and my daughters are working on. So we do have a book in the works too. So
you do stuff on the side for your family?
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at you multitasking.
Yeah. Well, when they're constantly on you.
Yeah, definitely.
Dad, come on, son. Yeah. No, it's good times.
All right. Anyone you want to shout out to since you're on TV?
Hi, Marissa. Hi, Sam. Hi, Jess. Having a blast.
Yay! All right, this wraps up our show for Common After Dark. Thank you guys for being on and watching us at this studio moment. Brought to you by
Conmen.
Yes. And take care, men, women, and subspecies, and have a good After Dark night.
Convention men, women, and subspecies. Have you ever felt so alive? When you're hanging out with your people, when you're hanging out with your tribe, go to a party, go to the show and comment. This is what we do. Go to a party, go to the show and comment. Bring the con to you.
Come here. Number 4. Open.